I mean, he just has another pick ready. Guy with a very, very deep champion pool. Ryze been taken away, very standard on purple side. It is still a fantastic strong pick despite the Rod of Ages changes. That's the pick we talked about with the Nidalee against Diamond. Svensson used it yesterday. The full effect against Gilius. Now it's being banned away from Unicorn. So still a lot of the normal power picks open.
Yeah, there's no Rek'Sai ban here. There's no Gragas ban. The AD carries are completely untouched. Have to see what Unicorns spend their last ban on as the Shen ban comes in. Taken away. We won't be seeing any more double teleports today.
We might see teams try and set up this situation where Sivir and Rumble are both open. Seeing as now Rumble, 100% pick ban on 5 and 13. Alistar as well, obviously, but that means suddenly you got to first pick the Sivir, but then we got AD carries like Kalista open as well, obviously not for these two teams. Funny enough, Unicorn's the team who bans Kalista the most. They don't trust in Vardags to play the carry role on it. Forgiven obviously doesn't play Kalista, so they also ban it very often on the side of Gambit. Ban Sivir in the end. She's the AD carry, being targeted almost in every single game, and she should be.
Despite that, Unicorns are still going to go ahead and pick up the cow. It is Hylissang's favorite support. This split has played it 5 times previously. Gambit Gaming, they have their pick of the top-tier junglers without the Nidalee being amongst them. Diamondprox looks to be favoring the Rek'Sai. We'll see if he takes it in the end.
Could also go for Rumble for Cabochard if he wants to get that AP top laner that could enable a potential Varus pick for Betsy in the mid lane. Otherwise, Azir and Victor has been two of his go-to picks, and I like him on these control mages where he can play more passive in the early game, just be a bit of a farm machine. But then once we get to these team fights where Gambit as a team normally really shines, he has some big, big impact for them. Rek'Sai would not be surprising for Diamond.
Oh, we've seen this before.
We've seen this before where you send the Gragas into the top lane for Cabochard, and you do this. The reason Gambit is doing this is just to take away the 2 tier 1 junglers. The thing is, Gilius is more than happy playing Lee Sin. So I don't feel like against a team like Unicorns or Love, you have to take both their tier 1 junglers and then swap one of them into the top lane, because it's been very mixed results whenever Cabochard has been playing the Gragas.
It's an interesting Gambit for Gambit. We'll see if it pays off for them. But for Unicorns of Love, Gilius can go ahead and take that Lee Sin. They don't necessarily need to right now. There's probably little threat that we see Lee Sin being taken by Gambit after all of this. My real thought here was where are they going to go with PowerOfEvil? Because arguably this is their strongest lane matchup.
Yeah, PowerOfEvil is definitely the guy they're looking to be the carry. I was about to say Corki as a pick. I like very much now with Sivir being banned away, and also due to the fact that you are expecting this Gragas to be in the top lane. So Gambit is not running a hard engaged top laner. Gragas can obviously like flash body slam or if he gets a flank in with his ulti, but it's not always as reliable. More secondary engage. Very often you see him even more focused on potential disengage. So getting Corki in as this poke champion, again, you're trying to enable potential physical damage dealers in the mid lane. That's a good pickup for the Unicorns a lot. And I like it when Vardags is not on the carry as well. PowerOfEvil is the guy you normally want to put your trust into.
Yeah, I think this definitely should work out well for them. Jarvan coming in. We did see it in the top lane already. Wouldn't be surprised if we do see it in the jungle as well. That has been for a while ago now, where it was historically a little bit more popular. Gambit, as the timer ticks down, they look to be taking their mid and their AD carry, and they do. Betsy on the Ahri. Forgiven. Back on Lucian.
So Lucian again, after winning yesterday, breaking.
Preferring it over Graves.
Yeah, I mean, I can agree on that one for sure. Graves into what could be a tank top lane as well. Jarvan and Alistar is not exactly fun when you can't burst down any of these big tanks, but for Gambit, it's always fun to see the lack of Kalista, so they go for Lucian instead of being open. Obviously, Unicorns didn't prefer it either. We talked about earlier with Vardags. So Gambit, again, setting up for this skirmish composition where they're trying to play around the fact that they can set up kills in these lanes very effectively. We know the Lucian pick, once you get a BF sword for Forgiven, he can start playing fairly aggressive in it. Betsy on Ahri here can look for these charms and look for the big plays. And that's what Gambit likes to do, very skirmish focused in that sense. Also with Gragas being a split push up in the top lane.
So with that, they've got a Maokai now for Vizicsacsi, and PowerOfEvil will have an Orianna. And I must say, it's not really been my favorite champion to watch him on, and he hasn't really had the greatest performance either.
Orianna, yeah, I mean, the thing is PowerOfEvil plays a very, very passive build. It's tier into Morellonomicon normally when we see it, so it's very slow scaling. Massive impact in the late game once it gets there, but Unicorns of Love as a team have been very bad in the early to mid game. That's been the main weakness for them this split, and that's why Orianna hasn't fit in for PowerOfEvil. Now he's going to it again. It's a massive teamfight comp from them, though.
It absolutely is. That's the caveat here, is they have so many ball delivery systems. They've got a Cow, they've got a Jarvan, they've got a Maokai. If they can wombo their combo, it's going to hurt Gambit.
It will. I mean, if you can lock down one of these carries, Gambit, though, is fairly mobile. Lucian, dash, Ahri, triple dash for himself.
Oh!
That was banned yesterday, so that's now... Okay. I'm seeing two things here. First, look at the side of PowerOfEvil. There's a smite at the moment on this Orianna. That's potential rune glaive. I'll talk about that in-game. Cabochard looks to be going for Ganplank. It was banned yesterday by Origin against him. And he's not running Flash, he's also running Smite, so this is also going to be rune glaive, Ganplank. And again, I'll talk about that in-game too, because these two champions here, that's going to be some fun builds, and GoSu Pepper getting a support Gragas.
Oh, man. We've been hearing rumblings too that this is a Cabochard solo queue special, so we'll get to see what he's able to bring it out to the LCS. Man, this is going to be a good thing. The stakes have gotten higher to this show.
Oh, I'm not sure what to expect from this Ganplank.
Only in a Gambit Unicorns game.
I played around with the build, Rune Glaive into Static Shift into Infinity Edge, because you turn your parlay into magic damage due to the Rune Glaive. Like late game, your crits are like 1500. It's insane.
Yeah.
But
But
you have to get there. Like, that's the key thing.
But yes, we talked about late game. If we get to that for both teams, it's going to be nuts. All right, guys, you know what to do for this one. Go ahead and hit us up at LOL Esports. UOL win, GMB win. We've got some interesting picks this game. Who is going to take it to 4th place as we get ready to load onto the Rift? We will find out shortly.
I just want to get in game. I want to talk about what these guys are doing here. PowerOfEvil, small delay, guys.
Yeah, we have a really quick pause. Don't let it kill the hype.
Gives us a timing. So PowerOfEvil.
No, let's talk. We have time to talk now.
Rune Glaive, Orianna. The build I've seen is Rune Glaive into Nash's Tooth. It's now been buffed here, or been changed a little bit here in 5.13, gives a bit more AP. And then basically, because you now get your Sheen proc, obviously from the Rune Glaive, you get the attack speed from the Nash's Tooth, and then you get the damage from it, and you have your passive as an Orianna. You become an auto-attacking Orianna. That's your main damage in the mid-game. Then you go in for more standard AP items later on, like you need Death Cap, you're going to need Void stuff, and that's where you become, again, this AoE mage. But building up to that point, it's like, it's auto-attacking, and it can deal a lot of damage if you can sit there and keep hitting. The problem is, you very often get zoned out.
All right, guys. Brief delay, back into the game as Deficio is able to explain what is sure to be the weirdness of it. And here we are, on to the Rift. The auto Orianna and the Gangplank with Smite coming out the gates for Gambit Gaming, hoping to take themselves into 4th place.
Smite and no flash in the top lane for Cabochard. He's going to be such an easy target to lock down for Jarvan once he hits level 6. And early invade here.
Dangerous.
Gilius throwing down the flag.
We've seen a couple of near face checks and full face checks that have resulted in the face checker living, but ooh, that's close for Gilius.
All right, so Gangplank instead here. Also Rune Glaive. It's not going to be some Cinderhawk. No. That's not for men. Cabochard here.
Crit with magic damage.
Rune Glaive. We're going to talk Static Shift, 2nd item. We're going to talk Infinity Edge, 3rd item. Takes a long time to get there. But then again, the key is that you turn your parlay into magic damage through the Rune Glaive, and that's your main damage source. After the Infinity Edge, we can potentially see him go for a Void Staff, unless he wants to stack even more AP. You can also go for Banshee if you want a defensive item, but that's the key components, the first 3, Rune Glaive, Static Shift, and Infinity Edge. Laning phase, though, you're farming. Like, that is your job, you're farming. And you try and avoid ganks. You can always max your W, just eat them oranges here, just gain HP back, but you are such an easy target to gank. Hylissang and Vardags going to be spotted on the ward here. No surprise Unicorns want to swap against this Gangplank. Gambit, though, setting up a trap.
They're waiting.
Oh, Cabochard's going to show up.
And so does the Rek'Sai. So Diamondprox finds Hylissang with the rest of the team. There's the Frost Bomb to zone him away.
Crazy damage.
Yeah, that's a lot early. They're going to go ahead and grab this blue buff early on. But let's take a break from the wackiness that's sure to follow and take a look back to week number 4 when these two teams last met up. It was a Unicorns victory. Remember, Gambit still, I would say they were improving, but they were still struggling a little bit in this game. And you can see Unicorns did take them down fairly handily in 29 minutes.
Very slow-paced, very low kill game, slow pace for 29 minutes. Definitely not one of the greater games for Gambit, but that's what they've been improving on. That's why they've been more consistent in the last few weeks. So, we also have a Gragas support, by the way, something we haven't seen in a while. From GoSu Pepper, obviously, your early game trading is very strong.
Cancelled.
But you are an all-in champion in that sense. Your Q poke has been changed quite a lot. It's not as effective as it used to be. Your CC comes from being able to body slam in as well, obviously. Meaning if he has to go all in, Unicorns might be able to gank it. But it's against a melee support as well in the Alistar. So that's why I think it can work for GoSu Pepper.
Not being punished as much. So now, we will see the full lane swap completed as Cabochard finally goes down to the bottom side, blue buff in tow. They gave it to him very early. So this was all part of the plan. We'll see what happens as the Ganplank battle unfolds. Chachi should be able to lock him down for a little bit, minus the oranges, but we'll have to take a look at that later on. I mean, the laning phase is not what this game's going to be about.
No, because this is just going to be Cabochard farming for 25-30 minutes. We might not even get to see him before he hits 30 minutes. Maybe he's going to fight for your ulti.
Global.
Sure, that's what he got. That's
we haven't
what he got.
Ganplank for a while, just doing out the public service announcement.
That is true. But he's just going to sit back playing Farm Simulator for the next 20-25 minutes. Play safe. You don't really want to fight anything because you got to get that rune play first of all. Then you got to get some damage after it. Chachi, though, is invading in with Gilius here. Our Smite Orianna has not followed on the side of PowerOfEvil. Now, obviously, the problem for Smite Orianna is you're lacking a useful summoner in most situations, not running a heal or barrier, not even ignite if you want more lane pressure. And it also is a slow scaling build. And again, it's going to be very auto attack focused in the mid game before he starts getting these big items late. Gambit have a lot of ways to try and get to Rek'Sai tunnel. Gragas obviously knocking him back, and then he's a squishy target.
Still, it's a safer champion pick, but we have to see if Gambit take that incentive to move mid and make that action. I feel like they're happy to farm up as long as possible, not just in that bottom lane, but all across the board. Betsy, if he can get a catch, he'll be happy with this Ahri, but both teams, I feel like the onus isn't necessarily on them to make a lot of huge early plays outside of counter jungling, which is what they've been doing.
Yeah, and obviously Gambit is happy to sitting and farming for now. Cabochard wants to farm. Betsy and Forgiven wants to complete an item first, and then you can start seeing some aggressive plays. GoSu Pepper and Forgiven together. Combine that, add in Diamondprox, and suddenly you can start setting up very effective ganks from them. But of course, Diamond is around the lane of Cabochard, as we always see from him, protecting him. GoSu Pepper, though, takes damage.
A little low there, yeah. Hilly is going to take some damage in return, but he heals it right on up. Chachi's throwing a sapling around the back to see if there's any counter pressure. Diamond is in the Unicorn jungle, and he's cruising for what looks to potentially be a bruising on Vizicsacsi, but he'll be safe for now.
And of course, Cabochard just farming, shooting these minions, getting the extra gold. We're going to have to see later once he has the rune glaive if he's going to start taking away camps as well from Diamond, just to really speed up his farm. That's one of the things about rune glaive that you always have to remember. If you do get to take down these jungle camps, that will speed up your build towards, 3 items and so on, because you get that extra gold from it. But then you deny that from your own jungler. That's always the risk, unless you get into the enemy jungle and start counter jungling with it. But that's not really what you pick an Orianna for. You pick her for a safe laning phase, a strong late game. You don't pick her to invade into the enemy jungle as the Orianna.
Especially if you're PowerOfEvil. Does like his builds that take some time. So it has been a moment of non-aggression, a bit of it. I want to see if Gilius decides to make some moves. He has hung around in this top side, but after a little bit of early invades, he's spotted by that ward. I think he knows it as he backs away. Now the jungler are having a massive impact on the lanes. They're really focused on jungling themselves and out-jungling each other. And this 2v2 between GoSu Pepper and Hylissang just trying to force their bulk into the situation while both their AD carries continue to farm up.
Right.
Slight lead for Forgiven here, but it's not massive.
And not really been any openings for the junglers. I mean, you saw when Cabochard were finally pushing the bottom lane, Diamond was there, near him. He was close. He was shadowing the lane, basically saying, if Gilish, if you show up, I'm going to be here for the counter gank. Hylissang, though, again, going aggressive.
Is
TP.
Oh, there's a TP for Chachi right now. Forgiven might give GoSu Pepper up, hoping he is forgiven for it. This could be first blood. The fat man just casually walks to his death, and the sapling is not necessary. First blood over to the Corki.
Nice little TP setup. Obviously means Cabochard is left alone in the bottom lane, and that's not exactly what you want to do. If you are a Unicorns aloft, but they want to start speeding up this early game a little bit. Very aggressive play, and it paid off. Forgiven forced away as well. And look who's getting all the minions.
Long distance farming, thanks to Ganplank. He's got to get all the money. Healed up. No, that's not going to happen. He grips himself some CS, getting him over the hump that Vizicsacsi had there. And he gets some free pressure on the tower now.
It is normally not worth it to use a teleport for just one kill. And it wasn't worth it in this case. Even though Unicorns got the first blood, Cabochard got a lot of farm from it. He's the guy we're going to follow. No pressure on him in the lane. And Gambit got to defend the tower. Obviously, Unicorns as well wanted to swap the lanes around. That's why they could go for this play. And wanted to see if they can get more pressure on this Ganplank, and also trying to avoid this Lucian once he gets the BF sword. But Gambit can just push out this bottom lane, sorry, this top wave, go back to base, get your BF sword for Forgiven, and walk down the bottom lane, and you have the 2v2 lanes again. And then suddenly, you also have a TP advantage.
Yeah, easy peasy. Hardly anyone's really taken a back trip as 8 minutes are elapsed on the clock. Still very even in the gold count despite that first blood for Unicorns. Gambit have gotten some serious farming edges. A couple of skirmishers already. The Runeglaive is picked up for Cabochard as he looks to take his place up top a little prematurely. Still wants to keep this 1v1 going. He's under no threat. And now Chachi's got no teleport for a few moments as well, so they may have some more global pressure. Yeah,
Cabochard is going to look to 1v1 entire game long. He's going to be a split pusher for Gambit and have the global ulti and of course the TP, and then late game, once he starts completing these items, he can start looking for these carries. If we see like a 1200, 1500 crit in the late game, don't be surprised. That is what this build will do. But again, this also means that Unicorns Aloft have allowed him to get to that late game, because he doesn't offer a whole lot right now, and that is what Unicorns have to be able to punish.
There is a timer ticking away. However, sometimes it's hard to know when these strange choices come into play. Tower's going to be falling in the bottom courtesy of Vardags' Gatling gun. But if there's anybody that should know how to play against really weird champions,
sure,
you would have to think it's Chachi. Admittedly, he's not been playing them lately, but still.
And this Ganplank thing has been a solo queue deal with the Runeglaive. Something we have seen for the last few weeks after Runeglaive was introduced. But Gambit had a very slow rotation back to the lanes. We knew that Unicorns was sending Vardags down to the bottom lane. Forgiven has to be careful as well, by the way. He might get destroyed. He gets headbutted into the tower. Oh boy.
Oh, enticing. He's
nice
gonna burn his flash. Fancy fingers. Forgiven gets away where he frankly shouldn't have.
But just talking about it again here, Gambit very slow to swap him back to that bottom lane. Forgiven wanted one more wave top before he recalled. Then he got interrupted by Chachi. And then he's finally recalled. It meant that Vardags, because he was there so early, could take down a free tower in that bottom lane. And no response from Gambit because of it. So they were just slower. And look at his auto attacks.
Ooh, Runeglaive is good, huh?
Really doing a whole lot though, Betsy.
Hey, he had the shockwave first, admittedly, but a little bit of trading all around the board now. As
I still want to see if he's going to get that Nashus as the second item. That's the...
Let's keep an eye on it.
Yeah, that's going to be the thing. Otherwise, his Runeglaive won't make a whole lot of sense.
Forgiven he just tanks the phosphorus. It's okay. I can trade better than Vardags. This guy's got no fear.
Gambit's going to be annoyed though about the fact they lost that bot lane tower for basically no reason. There was multiple ways for them to recall earlier. Forgiven had enough for BF sword. Normally you're talking around the 55 CS mark.
There's Julius is gonna go into the lane, gets the dunk on. There's the ultimate from Cabochard, but he's got no defensive summoner. Maybe he can get one going down with him, but no. Julius is gonna flash away. They do burn a couple of summoners for that though.
This is what we talked about though, Pyro. Once Jarvan hits level 6 against a no flash target, how is Cabochard ever gonna escape that gang? And Unicorns can look to do it again and again and again to shut him down and to get this Maokai fed instead. Now TP soon back up. PowerOfEvil have to flash away though.
PowerOfEvil zoned out of his mid lane thanks to Diamondprox and Betsy. Dodges out the charm, but this tower might just fall. He does clear away the minions, so he'll keep it alive for the moment. As Diamondprox sends a parting shot his way, Cabochard teleports right back into the action, and he's Runeglaive it up.
Means the Unicorns will have the advantage now by using Chachi's TP coming back up, so they managed to get that kill from the first spot. They swapped faster back to the lane, so Unicorns Aloft just been a step ahead, making use of the moves. Betsy, though, is winning this mid lane. This is what we also mentioned with the Smite. As a summoner spell in the lane, you don't really get a whole lot of value from it. He's even going skirmishes Saper. So he's looking to one-on-one people on this one here, get the true damage and everything from PowerOfEvil. Are we going to get a split-pushing Orianna?
We've seen stranger things this game. I think Deficio, nothing is out of the question. 12 minutes on the clock. Rek'Sai scream the wave race. As Diamond looks to potentially move in here, get some vision for the Dragon. Remember, they're lacking their teleport for a few minutes. If they can keep Unicorns off of it, that will help them if they should want to fight for it. Diamondprox going to go on a little bit of a counter jungling mission himself, though.
Unicorns is saying, though, they don't care about early dragons because they're swapping Vardags back to this top lane. They want to keep trying to push in against Cabochard and force him to use his ulti defensively to clear out waves. They might even just go and kill him again. Ulti's ready now for Gilius.
Yeah, he's just in tower range. Hylissang still gets the headbutt. The oranges are on. There's the ult. We're going to see Dunk Part 2. Cabochard's taken out. Meanwhile, PowerOfEvil is going to get taken down in the mid as Betsy tanks an inner turret. It's a 1-for-1 on the map. You could see where people are focusing their attention.
Unicorns Love is making some nice moves in the early game. However, the fact that PowerOfEvil is losing his lane to Betsy is such a big problem. That was an easy tower in the mid lane into a gank onto PowerOfEvil. He used the flash earlier. So Gambit is getting gold despite Cabochard trying, or well, despite the efforts of Unicorns to shut down Cabochard and maybe take a top lane tower as well. Gambit respond mid tower because they won the lane. And then bot lane as well because people swapped away from Forgiven here. But Vardags, he's trying to snowball the early game. He's trying to open up the map by taking out these early outer turrets and maybe put Cabochard in a position where he can't really farm as safely, because if Cabochard ever overextends, he has no mobility, or he has no jumps.
No way
so
to get out of it. I mean, he's got oranges, but it's not always K. And that's the problem when you're running a smite on this Ganplank. It is a very risky strategy. He is 0-2, however. Keeping living on the farm. He's got his Avarice Blade, so he will be just raking in the dough soon as it goes. Some vision down thanks to the Skull Crab, GoSu Pepper in that bottom side. Let's see what Unicorns do here. Again, they don't need to necessarily take these early dragons. Gambit, however, may be the ones that are more interested in it. Still, it's going to be all about these late game fights when they come.
I would like to see Unicorns go for this dragon now because they have the TP advantage, because Cabochard is back in the top lane. And you want to start getting these dragons rolling, because if you look at this Ganplank in the late game, that can be so annoying to deal with for Unicorns of Love. So in that case, starting this potential snowball of dragons can be your way of always securing the late game with 5 dragons. And you have this opening with the TP advantage for Unicorns. So I'm not sure why they refuse to use it. As long as Betsy is sitting in the mid lane, you have vision of him, he's not going to create a pick with the charm, and you can walk into this dragon and set it up. But say if you want to contest it, you're going to 5 versus 4s, and we should be able to win that team fight. We have Trinity Force completed, and Pyra, we have the Stinger for PowerOfEvil, the Nashus Orianna.
You called it, and it's going to happen. How long we will have to see.
I don't want to call if it's good or bad, though, because I haven't really seen it when it comes to the overall damage it can deal.
Not a betting man, are you?
We will have to see. I mean, look how he's taking out a Crooks here. Look at his auto attack.
Those are pretty big auto attacks, I'll grant you that. But let's get back to this fight over the dragons, potential fight over the dragon. The Corki, not only is he sitting on the Trinity Force power spike, those 2 kills means he's gotten the gold up even faster. Forgiven has been able to outfarm him, but that doesn't mean as much of a difference, so he does have a bit of the gold advantage. The itemization, you know, it's going to be Eye-Edge versus Triforce. Betsy, though, he could be the one that's going to get pincered in here. Sends a charm, completely goes nowhere. There's one Spirit Rush. He's got 2 more, but if he's locked up, he won't be able to do much. He's got 1, and he's going to be able to get out of the Cataclysm. A lot invested there on that bottom side. Forgiven turns on the heat. Vardags is going to have to Valk into the Razor Beats.
Meanwhile, though, here, look at Gambit on the top side. Vardags!
Oh, that's a summoner heal away from going down. Forgiven might have put some fear in Vardags, but they are going to be able to secure a dragon here.
Gambit will take the top tower forward. Might even try and get a kill on Chachi.
Action all over the map. The tree. He's trying to make like one leave.
Gambit has no damage yet.
Not yet. We're getting ahead of ourselves, but let's just take stock of this whole thing. Like right now, it's only 400 gold difference, but first dragon for Unicorns of Love. That'll give them that extra percentage AP and AD. Help them if they want to get in these fights. It looks like we're in for still pretty even in the towers, as Gambit will take one down. The mid still stands if Unicorns do want to take it, but they're taking their time about it.
Just making sure it clears out of some of the minions, Unicorns. Instead of looking towards the mid lane, the towers here dropping very fast. Both teams putting a lot of focus on taking down the outers. And also looking for these potential ganks against each other. Cabochard has been a target. Of course, you're running no flash. I mean, there's a big arrow above your head saying, come gank me, please. And at the same time, we have seen Gambit try and use Betsy, move him around the map a little bit. He obviously didn't manage to do anything at the bottom because he got ganked as well from Unicorns. But they got the dragon. Gambit responded by taking top tower, in my opinion, the right call from Gambit, saying we don't want to contest this dragon here. Again, we want to farm up with our Ganplank, so we just traded for the top lane tower.
They were able to make that trade. So as it stands, it's 3 towers to 2, but still that dragon advantage over to Unicorns. Still, what a wacky 17 minutes it has been. Can't wait to see what this Ganplank can get done. And by the way, if you guys are wondering, the last time we saw Ganplank grace the stage of the European LCS was over 2 years ago. Got to go back to the spring of 2013 when Cyanide played it. So somewhere right now, somewhere off in Finland, he's watching and wondering what's going to happen here as the GP ult's going to go ahead and clear the wave away. Unicorns cannot push this mid.
I once remember playing against Fnatic where Cyanide was playing the Ganplank jungle. We lost the game and it was sad.
Oh, you were in that game?
It was very, very sad.
I'm sorry to bring up bad memories.
I don't remember Cyanide doing a whole lot other than farming, but hey, this is what Ganplank is doing. He farms, then he goes late game, and he tries to one-shot you.
Thanks, thank you, our wonderful stats guy, Spellsy, for giving me that information. It's always fun to learn these kinds of things. When you see a Ganplank in LCS, it is just an awesome day. Unicorns, however, are going to try to muscle their way in and finish this tower off. They will be able to do it. Still, side wave pressure doubled up by Gambit thanks to Betsy and Cabochard. Can they make this pay off if they keep the pressure on in mid?
They have to be able to trade towers here, otherwise they need to move in towards this mid lane. The dive is happening.
Yeah, they looked for the Fat Man, but they couldn't quite secure him up. Forgiven, does he have enough damage to push them back? He doesn't have a culling. Diamondprox can't flank around the side against all of them. The big shockwave pulls him in and takes him down. Betsy's still on the bottom, Cabo's still on the top, but this might be an early base race almost.
Well, I mean, you got minions now. Hylissang was tanking his TP for Cabochard.
Can they cancel it? No, not enough. In comes Cabo. He's going to eat an orange, but he's taken down. Why did he teleport in there? An inhibitor's going to get destroyed. We're not even 20 minutes into the game, Deficio.
Unicorns just saying, we don't care about this play. Oh, Betsy.
Yeah, going in. There's a Spirit Rush. PowerOfEvil, however, is going to be able to take out Forgiven and get a double kill onto Betsy. They take an inhib down. Diamondprox left scratching his head at what the hell just happened.
Gambit was setting up that 1-3-1 setup we mentioned with Betsy in one lane. Of course, Cabochard pushing the other one. But it was so slow that Unicorns had enough time to group mid lane and say, okay, where's your wave clear? There's a Lucian, that's about it. He can culling on one wave, and then he can't clear the next one, so we can just keep pushing. 5 members. Also remember, there's an attack speed Orianna, so she's gonna have a bit more effect on these towers. Corki with the Trinity Force, they just rush down towers. They even go for a bit of a setup dive from GoSu Pepper himself, knocking Chachi into him, but then the next one. Look here how Gambit are pushing the side lanes, but they realize they won't be able to get these towers down in time before Unicorns can push further in. And then Cabochard, who's extremely squishy and very weak at this point, teleports in, and Unicorns like, okay.
Free kill. Yeah, that's some questionable decision making here, and the Ganplank probably operates a little bit best further from the action, you would think. They had a really good side push going, but they only really got one tower for it after all that. It ended up being the minions that secured it as they all spooked and backed away, but even after this, it was too late to do much. They grouped up, Gilius got the dunk on, and they just finished it off.
And
Big swing for Unicorn.
Betsy dashing into 5 members of Unicorns Love, didn't even manage to create any distance or anything. 4 kills now for our Runeglaive Orianna. Just got 3 of them into the wall.
Forgiven, you can't go that way, and now he might be going back to base, the short route. PowerOfEvil 5 kills make that.
Auto attacks Pyra.
They're
Flying
big.
out.
They're big, man. It's like another spell.
But for Gambit here, you're running this Gangplank who needs 30 minutes of farming. You just lost everything in the mid lane. That means Unicorns now have so many openings. Vardags is stuck down the bottom lane though.
He's getting the help from Vizicsacsi. So, teleport is canceled at the end of it as Betsy repositions himself. They still have pressure on this top side. Gambit, they have got to cover for that big swing that Unicorns just got. It wasn't so much gold. It was only a few thousand, but that pressure momentum...
That's quite a lot at 20 minutes.
That's true. I keep forgetting this game's only 20 minutes in, so Unicorns have a pretty big edge right now. Let's see what they can do with it.
Yeah, Betsy just used his ulti, so he's not going to be able to do a whole lot in a fight, but Vardags is not here for the Unicorns of Love, so they want to disengage.
Cabochard is, however. Power's knocked back, but he's able to walk away from it all. Diamondprox finds Chachi. They are going to try to force some action, but they just don't have the damage yet. Meanwhile, Super Minions streaming into the base right now. They've got to respond to this.
It is so key for Unicorns to open up that mid lane, because now you just have a free passage to walk into the enemy jungle, both sides, because you know the Super Minions are always going to be pushing in. You ward up everything like the Unicorns have done here, and you start playing in between the towers. Diamond now is in trouble.
Knocked into the team. There's no more a tower to fall back to. He's going to get popped. Gilius looked to go a little bit low, but able to tank through. GoSu Pepper couldn't quite get him. Betsy will be able to take down Hylissang, but it's gonna be a Gragas falling down. PowerOfEvil going low. Betsy going in, gets the charm onto Chachi. Double kill over to Forgiven, and they get another kill, courtesy of Cabochard. Vardags around the side. Can he get it? No. Cabo intercepts the rocket. Another one goes wide. Harley's on the Vardags. The rocket's still firing, but he's got to get out of there. There's no more backup.
Tried to snipe Betsy in the very end, but Gambit, they get a good fight. 4 kills. That's so important for them now. I mean, I feel like both the teams here are making some massive plays that could potentially either get Gambit back in the game, or of course for Unicorn, snowball the game completely out of control. They should never have to risk such a fight when you have an open inhibitor at 20 minutes in the mid lane. Instead, it's 4 members from the Unicorns. Vardags, look at your minimap. He's on his way. He's not there yet. So Unicorns just being a little bit too greedy for the tower. Allowed Gambit to get some kills. Even Cabochard managed to pick up 1 on the Ganplank. Betsy and Forgiven getting the rest. Giving Gambit a chance now at least. Key items being picked up. This was also the chance for Unicorns to start setting up for a potential early Baron, because you had the super minions already coming. Someone had to deal with them. Just to get full vision control in the jungle, but that is gone now. Gambit has taken over that side of the jungle, and this is a 23-minute second dragon, so not really gonna be a thing. PowerOfEvil though, talked about the key items, Rune Glaive, Nashus, and then more standard AP, death cap for him now.
Well, he's certainly making this Orianna look like a very hyper-carrying mid lane. The damage is real from him between his auto attacks, between the spells. However, Gambit, they are going to take advantage of the momentary lapse as Unicorns took out the dragon, start on the Baron, but Hylissang's already caught wind of it, sniffs it out. He's eating a charm, goes in, gets the knockup on a Cabochard. It's an orange. He's not able to stop that. However, he did recover a bit of his HP, and now Gambit have turned around to try and get a couple of picks. Not going to happen, and Vizicsacsi is coming in for backup.
Gambit simply trying to get a respawn Baron with Unicorns taking that dragon, but now they are finally grouped up again. Betsy has ulti ready. Everyone from Gambit have it ready, honestly. Look for that one, that next fight, but we see this. I mean, both teams, there's so much action for them. They just want to fight, even though Cabochard is not there yet. The rest of the members are. I mean, PowerOfEvil is extremely fed. Have to remember, Nashus is 80 AP, and obviously Rune Glaive is 15 hours of change, so he's getting a decent amount of AP despite this build.
Ganplank ult, they got the slowdown. Can they get the flank off? Diamondprox is looking for it. They knocked Gilius and Vizicsacsi into the team, courtesy of GoSu Pepper. In comes a twisted It's only going to pull GoSu Pepper. They take him out, though. It's a 1-for-1 as Gilius went down in all of that. Gambit feel like they have the edge here. They don't necessarily need their support to chase down the rest. Play to the Ruined King. Vardags is able to slow away Diamondprox. Tense moment for both teams, though.
Definitely seemed like PowerOfEvil was expecting the ball to be on Chachi, so when he went into the backline of Gambit, you could pull the shockwave, but it was just left outside. Only got GoSu Pepper, who's not been able to have... I mean, again, you're playing a melee support in this case, who's never going to be that tanky. I mean, GoSu Pepper's job is just trying to knock either... basically annoy PowerOfEvil or the Unicorns Love, or knock him into Gambit so they can take him down fast on this Gragas here.
Yes, indeed. Now, as things have settled once again into a momentary lapse between all this craziness, back and forth across the map, Unicorns have this 2 dragon. It's going to be a long time if they want to look for Aspect as a win condition. I don't think that's really necessarily the plan, although this game has the potential to go very long despite that early inhib. Gambit have recovered from this.
Smack.
They are not too far behind in the gold game, but they have to stop Unicorns from getting this vision around the Baron and keeping them in the dark.
For now, they're doing a good job. You can see how both of them are trading vision because there's not enough pink wards on the side of Unicorns. That's always the key thing to look for. Yes, you might have good wards yourself, but if the enemy team can just place the green ward and you can't clear it out, you never really establish any control in the jungle, that is. Baron obviously is pink warded here from Unicorns of Love, and Gambit is staying around. So annoying when the other team is on purple side because it's so easy for them to sneak in and just place a ward or an ability over the wall to spot it. Hylissang instead.
Righteous Glory pop there.
Going for Diamond.
Yeah, they're going to get Gilius on the front. He's going to tunnel his way in, but now he doesn't have an escape. No flash. Gambit, they might have to react to this if they want to try to save his life. There goes the Ganplank ulti. There goes the big barrel. They're not committing to it, though. From the backside, there's a culling, but it's Vardags who picks up the kill onto the tanky Diamondprox. Meanwhile, Cabochard continues to push in the bottom. If they can keep their attention, it may be a worthy sacrifice.
Cabochard is still pretty far away from the base of Unicorns. He didn't use teleport because Diamond got caught out. That's what Unicorns were looking for. Gambit were very split up. Baron is started now.
Teleport coming in. He's a bit of a ways away. He didn't teleport to the Pixel Brush here.
There's still Shockwave, by the way.
Still a Shockwave. They have to respect this. There goes the Righteous Glory. GoSu Pepper scattering. Gilius, they're on to Forgiven. They're taking him down. That damage threat's gone. GoSu Pepper's going to be fired down as well. The rest of Gambit have to scatter and scurry away. Diamondprox may have an ulti in a few seconds and it'll back up. However, this Baron once again started for Unicorns and much safer.
Messy game here for both teams. Trading kills back and forth. People being out of position, but it's very entertaining to watch. With some of these new picks here. Unicorns can secure. Diamond is going in.
He's going in. Can he get it? No! It's going to be smited away by Gilius, and now Diamond's going down for a second time. Chachi's charmed up. However, the Fox does not want to go in on all 5 members. Betsy's going to have to burn his flash away, but it may not even be enough to get away. Rocket's flying. Orbital Deception comes around the other side of it. He sets a charm. This time it's Gilius. There's the Shockwave. PowerOfEvil makes him disappear.
10 kills now for PowerOfEvil. What a performance so far. Unicorns of Love are winning the fights around Baron. First they created the pick. We were just talking about how they were lacking pink ward to deny vision from Gambit. But then you have Talisman, you have Righteous Glory, you have the Orianna speed. So as soon as Gambit was split up, Forgiven was sitting in the mid lane, Diamond in the jungle. They found that one pick here. Managed to secure the Baron. Unicorns is still looking strong. PowerOfEvil, Realize. 4 items now, currently sitting on 616 AP. And obviously that extra damage as well on his auto attacks. Now he's also gonna slow you down even more.
This game is a crash course in interesting uses of Runeblade, Deficio.
Yeah, it is.
We've got another minute on this next dragon. Unicorns have the map control to be able to take it. They've cleared out the side wave pressure that Gambit had been able to get thanks to Cabochard going down to the bottom to push things out, and a wave that was pushed to the top. Cabo's back in top lane, but they've got to go quick to maybe defend this mid here against a Baron up Unicorns of Love.
Yeah, and Cabochard has to be able to get an impact now. He has 3 items completed. We're talking about 30 minutes. We're close to it at least. Start looking at the crits against these squishy targets here, but basically what he can do because he's so squishy is just stay back and just fire his Q over and over. He's never really able to run in an auto attack unless they're already winning the fight on the side of Gambit because he has 0 defensive stats on his side. So that's very key in how you can play team fights with this Runeblade Gangplank. And it often, it's basically rolling the dice. If you get the crit onto like Vardags, it might look awesome and you can win the fight for your team. If you don't, however, your impact is super low in these team fights.
It's definitely a toss-up for Gambit, and so far it has not paid off completely for them as Unicorns secure a 3rd dragon in this game. We're approaching the 30-minute mark, just hitting it now. Gambit definitely have to start making use of this. The Unicorns may not be too keen on giving them that opportunity.
No, and with both Chachi and PowerOfEvil scaling really well into the late game as well. It's not like Unicorns have a bad late game setup. Obviously the main problem for them is heavy amounts of magic damage, Corki falling off as a carry as well. Then the fact that Chachi, PowerOfEvil and 50% of Vardags damage is all the same is going to be a problem. But setting up from 10 dive, Cabochard again is split pushing, which is allowing Unicorns to just group and poke down these towers. Super Runeblade, remember, it procs on towers as well.
To be the old, they've knocked Gilius back in. Chachi's twisted, advancing his way in, but Gilius is going to be flag and dragging his way out. It just seems so safe for these Unicorns. They draw so much attention, don't quite take down the tower, but they're all perfectly fine. Vizicsacsi, the only one really scratched up Gilius a bit as well.
Just keep looking at the tower HP. Whenever PowerOfEvil and Vardags hit it, it's the sheen from both of them, from Runeblade and Trinity Force. It's very quick at poking it down for the Unicorns of Love. Diamond, he's going in.
They've got to make something happen here. This is the time it counts. Diamond going in, going low, however, and absolutely demolished. Gilius now is going to go for the dunk, but he does manage to grab Cabochard before he falls down as well.
That might be it, Pyra.
They're going to try to end this one right here. A quadra kill, just like that for the Orianna. Can he secure it up? Yes, he can. A pentakill for PowerOfEvil.
Runeblade, Orianna getting a pentakill in the first game of the Unicorns of Love.
Prepare your solo queues for that one.
What a performance.
But for now, a standing ovation for PowerOfEvil as they will secure a win here over Gambit Gaming and stand alone in 4th place.
What a fun game to watch.
Oh man, yes it was.
PowerOfEvil can be very proud after that performance, but oh, Pyra, Runeblade, Orianna.
You thought you'd seen everything, didn't you?
I mean, I don't know what to expect anymore. This is what I really like about the meta we've seen in Season 5. There's been so many different picks, so many small things that can just make one pick work suddenly. I mean, we've gone from Master Yi mid lane, we've seen Faker play, you know, Froggen has been spamming it in solo queue. That was suddenly a thing, and then now we see RuneGlaive, Orianna. I'm not gonna say it's gonna be a meta pick at all, but in this case here, because Unicorns of Love managed to group so early and had Trinity Force Corki and RuneGlaive Orianna to take down these towers, Gambit just didn't know what hit them. They were setting up 1-3